Hello everyone, a very good morning to all of you students. This is Assistant Professor Ishani Trivedi from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Okay students, so previously we have been discussing about the tractors, bulldozers, rippers and scrapers, right? These were the basic equipment used for general purpose construction activity. Now today we are going to move forward with the specific type of equipment, that is excavating equipment. Today we are specifically going to talk about various type of equipment which are used, which will be ultimately mounted on the tractor itself. It can be wheel mounted, it can be crawler mounted, but the work which has to be done over here depending on various site conditions, depending on various types of soil, depending on various types of altitude, on types of topography, right? We have different type of excavating equipment which are used around the world in the market. So what are the major type of excavating equipment? We have 5 different types of major excavating equipment. The first over here is a power shovel, right? First we have is power shovel. Now you know what is a shovel, right? If you have dealt with the concrete mixing process, if you have done with the hand mixing process, then you have operated a shovel, right? It will be a hand operated manual shovel which will be having a wooden rod and the shovel blade will be attached to it, which is used for mixing purpose by hand. So when you convert this type of small equipment into a bigger one which will be mechanically operated, which will also be having sharp teeth and blades at the bottom, then it becomes your power shovel, right? The image you can see over here, it is flashing right in front of you. First I am going to show you images, pictures of all the type of excavating equipment, and then we will discuss one by one in detail. So the first you have is power shovel. Now second which do we have? We have drag lines. The name here is drag lines. Now can you see it is again a tractor mounted? Yes, we can see that, but you can also see instead of an arm having the bucket or having the excavating equipment, here a crane is used. A crane and a rope and a pulley is used, and there your blade is mounted, and this is how it works, and this type of equipment is known as drag line. Next equipment we have is hose. You can also call it as backhoe loader. You can also call it as front end hoe loader, right? Now here what is meant by a hoe? Meaning it is the type of excavating equipment which will also have a excavating bucket at front, right? It will be in U shape and it will also be performing simultaneously collection work. So it can be front end loader, it can be back end loader, but the equipment is such that it will perform two works simultaneously. It will perform the excavation work, and together you also have a dozer blade in front, right? You can see over here you have a dozer blade in front. The dozer blade can be attached at back and the excavator can be at the front also, vice versa. So with the work of excavation, the collection of material will also be done. Those are known as hoes. Next we have is clamshells, right? We have the next excavating equipment, clamshells. Now clamshell meaning the bucket. The bucket is kind of different in shape. In all of these excavating equipment, the differences will be only in the type of the buckets, type of the excavating blades. Otherwise it is same. So in the clamshell we will have two buckets, right? It will be fitted such that it will be in semicircle, both of them, and it is going to collect your soil sample in this manner, and that type of equipment is known as a clamshell. This is generally used for diaphragm wall. When you want to construct a diaphragm wall for excavation purpose, you can always use clamshell. Next we have is trenching machines. Trenching machine means foundation trench laying equipment. If you want to carry out the excavation specifically to lay the foundation trenches, then you can see over here, you can see it is a full circular blade mounted with sharp edges, and as it will move in the soil, you can lay the trenches inside the soil. That is your foundation trenches. These are the 5 type of excavating equipment most important for us. Now today we are going to start with the first equipment, the most basic one and the most important one, that is your power shovel. We have power shovel. Now you already saw what is a power shovel, students. So let us first discuss the basic points and then I will move forward in depth. We are talking about various performances of power shovel. So definition: these are used primarily to excavate the earth and load it into the tractor, right? Once the excavation work is done with the help of power shovel, where will that soil go? Where will that soil in the bucket go? You will have to load it in the tractors and trucks and wagons, and then you can take it off from the site, right? So for trucks or belt conveyors, you can use any type of conveying equipment and are capable of excavating all types of earth except rock. You cannot perform for the soil where rocks are present. Otherwise, this is a universal equipment for all types of soil. Next, the size of the shovel is indicated by the size of the dipper expressed in cubic meters, right? I am going to talk about the various part along with the cross-sectional diagram also, but right now you have to understand that the bucket is called dipper. So the size depends on the size of the dipper. Next, power shovels are available in sizes of 0.5 meter cube to 5 meter cube, right? This is the volume, this is the size of the your bucket or your dipper. Here instead of bucket we are going to call it as a dipper. Next, the bank measure volume. Now students, in the very starting I had discussed 3 definitions: loose volume, bank volume and disturbed volume. If you remember, we have discussed about 3 terms. That is repeating over here. I had said that you have to remember because I will be using it in various equipment. So here the bank measure volume, that is loosened volume of a dipper, is less than loose volume of the soil due to swelling in loose state. See, we have also discussed about swelling and shrinkage. We had talked that when the soil is in undisturbed condition, it will be original volume. When you excavate it, it will be disturbed, it will be swelled, and then it will be a bank measure volume. And once you will put it back, you will compact it, then again another volume will be derived. We have talked about this already, students. If you do not know about these terms, then again watch the lectures regarding the technical definitions. So if I want to calculate the bank measure volume, then for example, let us say that the size of the bucket or the dipper is 5 meter cube and the soil which we are dealing with is going to undergo 25% of swelling. We have determined the physical properties of the soil. So if I want to calculate the bank measure volume, then I can divide 5 by 1 plus 0.25%, that is, so 4 meter cube will be the bank measure volume. You have to study the lecture regarding the definitions to understand these terms. You are supposed to remember when we are talking about this. Now, applications. What are the major applications of a power shovel? So we have over here is for excavation above its own track or wheel level, meaning you can perform the excavation only on the surface. You cannot go inside the soil, you cannot excavate the soil, you cannot make huge depth of the soil. You can just excavate on the top surface, right? In case of clamshells, you can excavate up to very much greater depth. So here comes the difference. Next, it is used for cutting the soil and loading the soil and transporting it. It is suitable for heavy cutting in all types of dry soil. Okay, this is, I think I already mentioned this. Now we have is basic parts and operation of a power shovel. Students, please mark that you are supposed to draw the sketch if it is asked, which is right in front of you. Let us try to talk about the various parts. So, the first part, I'm giving you a more clearer picture. It has even more parts which may not be included over here in your books as well. So, first we have is mounting. Then we have a cab, we have boom, we have dipper stick, we have hoist line and a dipper. Now students, look at the leftmost image at the bottom in the corner. So first we can see is we are going to start with the cab. Cab means the operating cabin where the operator is going to sit and operate the power shovel. Next we have is mounting, that will be at the bottom. It will be either wheel mounting or crawler mounting. Next we have is, let us see the hoist line. Okay. Now here the power shovel which we have is cable controlled. It can be hydraulic control, it can be cable controlled, right? So here we are going to have is a hoist line, and from that will be suspended, it will be connected to the bucket or the dipper, right? Now here the bucket is going to be called as dipper. The dipper will be having a stick which will be attached to your hoist line. That stick is known as dipper stick, and the arm will be known as boom, right? These are the various parts of a power shovel. So how this works? So first of all, the power shovel will be taken into right position, into correct position at the angle where you want to carry out the excavation work. So it will be on the surface of the earth where it has to be excavated. Now the bucket or the dipper of the shovel will be lowered, right? It will be hydraulic or either cable operated, and the arm, that is the boom, will be lowered, and the teeth of the dipper, that is the sharp blades of the dipper, will be pointing towards the face of the cabin. It will be pointing towards the face of the cabin, meaning if I am operating it from over here, right? If I am operating from here, this is my operating equipment, then from the cabin I will have the arm such that it will be facing towards me. It will be facing towards the one which is operating, right? Next it says a crowding force is applied. The force which is applied with the help of the arm, with the help of traction which is generated to the dipper, right? That force is crowding force will be generated. It will be with the help of hydraulic pressure, the cylinder, the hydraulic cylinder which will be present inside the engine. See, this is all mechanical part, right? The automobile part. So the force will be exerted to the stick, the boom stick, right? And at the same time tension is applied to the hoisting line. At the same time tension is applied to the hoisting line, and the excavation work will be done. The soil sample will be collected in the dipper. This is how simultaneously the boom stick and the hoist line works. The material left near the floor of the pit, right, will be excavated after the upper portion of the face is removed. Meaning when you remove the soil, when you excavate the soil, there will be some parts of soil which will fall down at the bottom. So later on that also can be excavated in the next round where you take off the dipper. This is how your power shovel works. Now students, here there will be a major problem of abrasion, right? Because the dipper, because the blades, because it is made up of sharp edges, as you use it more and more, as you give it more and more crowding force, as you excavate the soil more and more, it is going to experience abrasion very much, right? So for those cases you will have to replace the dipper as and when it is required because of the abrasion. Now next we are going to talk about optimum depth of the pit or the cut. How much depth can be cut for one time excavation of the dipper, right? We are going to talk about minimum how much depth can be cut with the help of the dipper of the power shovel. Now if I want to technically define this, then the depth which produces the greatest output, the depth which produces the greatest output and at which the bucket of the shovel comes up with the full load. Meaning once you are inserting the dipper, once you are inserting the power shovel dipper into the ground, then the depth at which, how much depth it is going to take it off. So meaning it tries to say that for one collection of one full collection, right, when the soil loading becomes full inside the dipper, so the depth which produces the greatest output, meaning that when you achieve maximum, meaning full loading of the dipper, that particular how much depth it is cutting, when you get the maximum output, when you get the full loading of the bucket without any undue crowding, meaning it is a full load capacity where forcefully you are not filling up more soil, right? It is the standard capacity at which full load is achieved, right? That depth at which the cut is performed, that will be your optimum depth of the cut, right? So when you get the maximum output for one blow, for one removal of soil at full loading, right, when you get the maximum output, that depth, that particular depth of cut will be your optimum depth of cut, right? You can see in the image which is flashing over here, can you see it is fully loaded, right? Now this collection of full load of soil without any overcrowding, now the depth at which this cut will be performed, that particular depth is known as optimum depth of the cut. Now what are the conditions to be satisfied when you want to operate a power shovel? So there should be a large open pit. You cannot just directly go on the surface and start excavating. You will have to dig a pit for collection of the soil, for collection, because the power shovel does not have the capacity to dig a pit. It can just collect from the surface. Next, the floor must be well drained. You cannot deal with the site conditions, soil conditions which is very much wet. So with the help of necessary pumping equipment, you will have to well drain the soil. The hauling road, the road on which it is moving, must not be affected by climatic conditions, meaning moisture or rainfall or temperature. It has to be normal dry soil, right? The main condition is you have to operate it in the dry soil. Next, the trucks must be standing on both sides of a power shovel. In case of any failure occurs, then trucks must be standing on both the sides. Also, for the loading, right? Why do you need trucks? Now the major purpose why you require trucks over here is because during excavation, once the bucket is cutting the soil and collecting the soil full load, it will directly put it into the truck, which will be right near it on the sides. That is why you require the truck. Next, angle of swing. The angle of swing should be 90 degrees, right? You will be able to perform angle of swing 90. Required boom angle, right? The boom stick, the boom angle must be maintained for specified soil. The depth of the cut must be optimum. I think we discussed in detail about the optimum depth of cut already. Now we are going to talk about the output of a power shovel, right? For all types of equipment, please remember that we have to study first definition, the concept regarding the equipment, second the cross-sectional diagram and the various parts attached to it, and the third performance and output and factors affecting the equipment. These three will be the standard theories related to any kind of equipment which we are going to study from today onwards, right? So now next we are going to talk about the output of a power shovel. If you want to calculate what will be the output with the help of the power shovel, how much you will be able to get the efficiency. Then volume of excavated material divided by T multiplied by N. What is T? It is the time taken to complete one cycle of excavation in hours, right? For one cycle of excavation, you are going to take time taken, and N will be the number of such cycles in 1 hour, right? So based on this, you can calculate the output of a power shovel. Now, output will also depend on certain factors. Not just power shovel, for every equipment the output depends on various factors. I already said previously that operator skill also matters in all type of equipment, so that is ultimately here one of the factors. Also the type of the job, what type of job you are performing, meaning what is the capacity of the area, what is the type of soil you are dealing with, what is the quantity of the work which you want, so that is your job condition. There are certain factors from this which will be common for all type of equipment when we are talking about its output. So first we have this class of material, right? We already know that you can perform this power shovel on dry soil. You cannot perform this when you are dealing with the soil which is having rocks. You can not deal sometimes with also having mud or clay soil. Otherwise, in all types of dry soil you can perform. Next, height of the cut. Optimum depth, right? We already discussed about the optimum depth of the cut. So it completely depends that what optimum depth you get based on one strike with full loading. So height of the cut is important. Next, angle of swing. I already said that the angle of swing for the boom stick should be 90 degrees, right? So it is important that you should be able to move it at 90 degrees. Otherwise there will be a problem. Next, operator skill. You require always skilled operator to perform the various actions and to operate this type of equipment. You cannot just employ any laborer in this, so you require a skilled operator. Job condition, which I already discussed, that it depends on what type of job you are performing, whether you are performing excavation for foundation or excavation for clearing the site area. It depends on what type of and what quantity of job you want to perform. Management conditions, I think this is common for every type of construction project in the site. It depends on how you are managing the work, managing the conditions, and systematic timely completion of work. Size of hauling units, meaning the units, the trucks, specifically the hauling units are trucks. What is its size? At a time when you are performing excavation with the help of power shovel, you are going to require truck beside you. So what is the size of that truck at a time? How much can it carry? It depends. The output depends on that also. Physical condition of shovel. I said that the shovel blades are already going to they are already going to experience abrasion when you use it frequently. So it depends on what is the physical condition of the shovel at that present moment. Haul unit exchange, meaning when the trucks take the full load of the soil which is done by the power shovel, then it has to dump it and it has to come back. So what is the exchange rate? How fast it can be performed? Faster the work can be done, more will be the output of your power shovel. Cleanup of loading area, right? The area where you are performing this excavation work, you will have to perform the cleanup as well afterwards, and then your work will be completed. So this is how there are various factors which will affect the efficiency and the output of a power shovel. Okay students, so we'll be continuing with other type of equipment in next session. Have a good day. Thank you.